Good morning, anglers. This is Anglers 48 coming to you from Port. Really? No. Coming to you from far Texas, live. Thank you for joining us. So, what's going on, anglers? We're going to be talking about what the heck happened on this last fishing trip. Um, Throughout the week, I was looking forward to some weekend fishing. I knew that it was gonna be on the kayak, but I wasn't sure if it was gonna be to Port Mansfield, to Arroyo City, or to the island. The wind conditions started last Sunday, and they were relentless. But nonetheless, I still wanted to go. I still wanted to get out there. I had that itch. Other times, I would just scratch that day. But Friday came around, and I started to lean more towards Port Mansfield. And one of the reasons that I was leaning towards Mansfield is because, one, I haven't been to Arroyo City in a while, and I wasn't quite sure if they were going to have any live shrimp. But also because when you go to Arroyo City, the majority of the fish that I catch has always been trout. The kind of fishing that I do, because I'm fishing off the channel, right? So off the channel with live shrimp, you're looking at trout or catfish. There were a few key spots that I could try, where I could maybe get some redfish or snook, but those places are usually, like I said, it's as a last resort. So I didn't want to take off that early because of the winds. I wanted to get maybe a little bit of rest before I went. So I packed up everything on Friday after work, and I tried to get a little bit of rest, but I was just too anxious. They were calling for beautiful conditions for the weekend. When they say beautiful conditions, they don't necessarily mean that the winds are going to be fine, or that there won't be any chop. So I went to Port Mansfield, and I started noticing a lot of chop there on the bay. I tried throwing the net a couple of times, and I was able to get some bait. I ran into Mr. JC there at the El Poco Loco boat ramp. This youngster, he was on a kayak. He was gonna go in there and fish in the harbor. Once again, late hours. He was probably gonna target trout and flounder there by the docks there. So I felt that the conditions were gonna be too rough, right? They were gonna be too rough for me to go in there with a kayak. I felt that if I did go in there with a kayak, something bad could happen, and there goes everything, right? So it's hard enough that it's dark, that I'm going by myself, but going under those conditions. So I went to the park in Port Mansfield, not the one on the north side, the one on the south side. I started fishing the rocks. That's what we call them. I was there by myself. I was there most of the night. And then at sunrise, I was gonna decide whether to get in there with a kayak on the north side or to do some wade fishing. I was getting a lot of seaweed. It's seagrass. It's gooey, ugly, and it was getting all over my fishing leaders. And when this is happening, I felt artificial was going to be out of the question because you're going to be having to deal with this mess every cast. So I decided buy some shrimp. Luckily, the lady there at in town had a lot of shrimp. So I get to the north side. I have a lot of shrimp. I have some mullet. And lo and behold, it's full of anglers. There's about maybe 5 people already there getting ready. There's a few already in the water. So that in itself, it's good, but it's also, you're going to be weaving and, going to some, I had to stay deeper where I wasn't going to be interfering with them. So I was able to get in safely. The shrimp were very lively. That was a good thing. I love that. So sunrise comes up, and there's that wind, there's that chop, but it's nice. What wasn't nice is all this ugly seaweed that I had seen in the nighttime, right? All this ugly seaweed. So I start casting. I'm not getting any hits. I'm looking around and I see people with their nets. That leads me to believe that there are fish. So I wanted to try certain key spots that were not close to the shore that I would be able to take advantage of. And as I got further and further away from town, I started, as soon as I threw the line, I got a hit. I threw the line again, I got another hit. So, excuse me. I did a lot of work this morning, tidying up, turning on the tracker, letting it run for a while, detailed my garage. I gotta keep maintaining it regularly. Anyway, so I kind of see, right, that there's a fishing spot. There's a hole somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure where. And normally this is not my typical fishing. If you see my channel, this is not my typical fishing. My typical fishing is tie the kayak to my body and start fan casting. That's my typical fishing. This is Tony's fishing. What I did, on this fishing trip. This is Tony's fishing. He's on the yak. He's casting, looking for bites. So as I'm fishing, I'm like, there has to be a hot spot in this general area, right? But it's one of those things where it's not here, it's right here. You cast anywhere else and you're not going to catch. You're not going to get any hits. It has to be in a particular area. And that's what happens. You're fishing, and if you don't hit that little particular area, you're going to keep waiting and you miss the spot. So this was my opportunity to find that spot. And I believe I found it. I marked it on my phone. Not all the times, do I pin it on my maps. But this time I was able to pin it on my map. And now on the next fishing trip, I'm going to go to that pin. And I'm going to try to hit that little area right there. Now, if you do that and you get success and you do it again and you get success, then that's the spot. But if you go and there's something, and you go and there's something, and then you go again and nothing, then that's not a key spot. And some people, they know which areas to target. They know which areas, they're not going to broadcast it, you know. But I was able to get my 3 trout, good trout, a lot of meat on them. I was able to fillet them as soon as I got home. Took away all the bones, as best as I could. And I'll be doing a fish fry in a little bit. My son, he's into that. Not Junior. He doesn't like that. So there I was, and you look around and there's anglers everywhere. You would figure because the winds have been pretty bad, they wouldn't be there. They were there. So, but that's the pluses of having a kayak. You can go in a little deeper than when you're waiting. When I'm waiting and I see kayakers, they have the advantage. I don't. And then I have gear like everybody else. I have my cell phone, I have my keys, I got the smokes. So there's only so far deep that I can go, especially if there's a high tide. I can't go too far. So I was able to do that. The last spot where I was at, for sure I thought that I was going to get the limit of trout, and that didn't happen. I didn't get the limit. So I wanted to go and because it was already getting close to 10:30, right? I needed to go and do something real quick, close to the shore, fix certain things up. That way I can head back, right? By then, the wind had kicked up a little more. And here's the thing, the trolling motor. Trolling motor had been working fine. But when I got back on the kayak to go, the propeller was spinning slowly. Okay? And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And I tried the other way. And I tried it again. And nothing. I have noticed certain things as far as when I would engage it, it wouldn't do anything. When I would engage it back, it wouldn't do anything again. It looked to me like if the motor was running on like speed 1. That's what it looked like, on speed 1. So right here, I'm quite a distance away from town. And you got the wind against you. You got the chop against you. It's already, like I said, 10 something. You start noticing a little bit of the warmth already. So I start walking the kayak back. I get to a certain spot and I remove the wiring, and I put the wiring on my other battery, and it did the same thing. I'm like, maybe it's the battery. No, it wasn't the battery. So I continued my journey back, heading to the truck, and at this point, you can barely see the town. Very, very small. The anglers are still there. It's mid-morning, so to speak. And I'm walking and walking, and every once in a while, I'll cast out the live shrimp, nothing, and I'll keep walking. And lo and behold, I see a buddy of mine, Mr. Wesley, and his friend. I wasn't quite sure who that was until I kind of like, is that him? He looked at me and I'm like, is that you, my friend? He goes, yeah. So that was Wesley. He's a good guy, loves this craft, and he's very good at it. Very, very good at this sport, the best sport in the world. So he shows off his catch. Beautiful, beautiful fish. He's still doing well there, catching fish right before my eyes. And right there, I was about halfway between where I was at and the vehicle. So I still needed a good distance to go. Well, when I was there, I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of gnats here. Let me interrupt real quick. Hopefully I don't mess things up here. I need to get a little bit of wind here. A little bit. These gnats are brutal. All right, so Wesley's there. I had just spoken to him. I had just said, catch you later, my friend. When my wife calls, right? And checked up on her, what's going on, this and that. And I decided, hey, why not? Let me stick around a little bit, here with my friend Wesley. So I cast out a couple of times right beside him. And I got a strike, good strike. And it ended up being a 20 and a quarter inch red. And good, fought really good. It fought really good. So I was able to get that red. Wesley, he was gonna go and try a different spot. And felt that it was time. It was still gonna be a long walk back. So I just decided to take care of that. I had already rested for a little bit, and I was able to get out of there. Terrible, like I said, terrible. What's going on here with the motor? And I had just finished making the video on the Anglers 48 show about the disadvantages of having a trolling motor. I had just discussed it with my friend Rick Luna about this issue. You go fishing 100 times, everything is great. You go fishing that 101 times, something messes up. It leaves you stranded. And it could have been worse, right? Could have been worse. I could have left the kayak over there. Could have given up. But all in all, that's it, guys. Check out the video. Check out the video. It's already up. I hope you like it. I made the most of it. What can you do? I was able to meet Mr. Jay-Z. Thank you for the lures. He donated some lures to the channel. Appreciate it, buddy. And once again, Wesley, it was good seeing you out there, my friend. Wesley, right now, he's doing his thing again. Yep. So that's it, guys. Until next time, live from Fort, Texas, Anglers 48, signing off.